4 years old, my mom, dad, and I moved over the state line to Lansing, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Shortly after moving to Lansing, my little brother Matt was born. The transition into big sisterhood was a really tough one for me, though. I remember telling my mom, "I told God I wanted a sister," and promptly cried myself to sleep. When he was 2, Matt was diagnosed with autism. Over the years, Matt's autism has shown me how to love unconditionally, to find patience when it's wearing thin, and to be understanding rather than judgmental. Even though he's almost nonverbal, I have learned how to communicate with him based off his emotions and reactions in different situations. This has helped me greatly in communicating with others and reading their emotions. Matt has taught me that a lot of communication is conveyed in feelings rather than words. He has also made it very clear to me that he's in charge of picking music when he's in my car. In 2006, my family moved back to Indiana. Our village did not know how to educate children with autism, and my brother was abused in school. Unfortunately, my dad still had to adhere to residency laws. He lived in an apartment in Illinois from the time I was 10 to 13. The only time he got to live with the rest of our family was when he had days off. There were times when my brother and I would only see my dad for a few hours after not seeing him for 9 days. Thankfully, for my brother's sake, the village lifted the laws for my dad. His living situation has made me so thankful for everything we have. My dad's situation makes me respect him tremendously. He balanced work and home to the best of his abilities. He made being with us a celebration every time he was home. Even when he couldn't be home, family was always first. My mom worked just as hard to make our family feel whole again while he was gone. I still thank her for that. Fast forwarding to 2010, when I was a freshman in high school, I got really sick. After being tested for cystic fibrosis, COPD, and other very scary diseases, my doctor came to the conclusion that even after being fully vaccinated, I had pertussis, or whooping cough. I was the 17th person in the state of Indiana to have it since 1985. I am, in fact, a statistic. It took me almost 3 months to recover, and I now have scar tissue on my lungs. They work to 62% of their capacity. My respiratory system doesn't function the way it should and only creates 3 of 13 types of antibodies. My count goes up to 9 after having routine injections. Having pertussis sparked creativity in me, though. I am now more compassionate and want nothing more than to help people for the rest of my life. In 2014, my senior year of high school, I made a deal with my parents that if I joined an EMT academy, I would not have to take AP Physics. To be completely honest, that was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. I made becoming an EMT my priority, but definitely not my stopping point. According to Holland's theory of career choice, I basically found my personality type in the environments I like to be in. According to this theory, I'm a social person. Nursing is a major that is congruent to my personality type. Being an EMT has made me excited for my future. I met so many fantastic people and some that I know I will be friends with for a long time to come. Being an EMT has shown me a lot about who I am as a person. Working in the healthcare field is my passion. Also, I figured out there's such thing as a wilderness EMT, and I'm totally going to become one. Finally, choosing a college to attend was an extremely stressful experience for me, but I'm still confident in my decision. It took me until the night before decisions had to be made for me to pick a school. I made a pros and cons chart, Venn diagrams, and researched extensively. I talked to people who went to each of the schools I was accepted to and asked their opinions. I discussed options with my parents, teachers, counselors, and basically anyone who would listen. What I was doing was part of William Perry's theory of intellectual and ethical development, specifically the commitment and constructed knowledge stage. This stage states that I will make decisions based off of what I know, but my decisions will have consequences, both good and bad, and no matter what, the decisions are my own. I'm really happy with my decision. I've met so many people from all over the country and from so many different backgrounds. I still have great relationships with some of the people I went to high school with. I have a friend group that is both supportive and driven. I've gotten to explore different cultures and religions and have become a part of a group of EMTs on campus. I am more self-sufficient an adult than I would have been had I stayed closer to home. At times, it can be hard to be away from home, but I know in my heart that Bloomington is definitely the place for me.